Hey guys, Tom Barton from TomBartonSports.com here. It's bracket time. That's right. We're going to go over the brackets today. I brought Abby back with me to go over one of her brackets as well. She hasn't looked at any brackets at all. I have. We're going to go over them all, actually do a live bracket right here. I'll give you my winners, my final four, as well as Abby's. Let's have a little fun with this, right? Guys, go check it out at TomBartonSports.com. Check out everything over at TomBartonSports.com. Tom Barton Sports over on Twitter, and TomBartonSports@gmail.com is how you can get in touch with me. So let's get right into it, right? Let's do this here, Abby. Abby has not looked at the bracket, so we'll start off with the West, right, which is in the upper left-hand corner.
Right.
We're going to start off here, and the number one team, Gonzaga, every year, just to kind of let you guys know. So I said to Abby, I said, well, we were talking about the ones, and I said, yeah, Gonzaga got a one, and she said to me, well, same old Gonzaga, right? I mean, it really is the bridesmaid at this point. But look, Gonzaga, Georgia State. Let me just give you my take here. Okay. Gonzaga, Georgia State. I was hoping Georgia State was going to get a different bid. They were injured during the year. They had some times during the season where they missed some games, and it kind of threw them off. But as healthy, they're pretty good. They defend under the basket really well. It's a pretty decent team. Not up against Gonzaga.
No, I have to pick Gonzaga for this first round.
So Gonzaga's moving on. Boise State, Memphis, the 8-9 matchups. I've mentioned this many times before. Since 2012, almost 10 years, it's almost exactly 50-50 between the 8-9 matchups. It's almost a coin flip kind of thing. Look, I'm taking Memphis because they're just, they have the talent. Boise's played better, but they have the talent. What do you like here?
I'll go Memphis as well. Sounds great. Yeah.
All right. Abby's going Memphis. UConn, New Mexico State. Look, this is that dreaded 5-12, but 5-12s haven't been as great as they used to be. It is the 5-12 matchup. I think UConn is a very, very vulnerable team. I know a lot of people kind of saw UConn moving on deep into the brackets. Look, again, this to me is almost a coin flip. I'll take New Mexico State just because it's the 5-12.
And honestly, I'm going with tradition. I'm going UConn. Let's put them in.
All right. Arkansas, Vermont. Well, you guys know if you listen to me how much I like Vermont, and I like them here. Look, I would have been loving Vermont in any of the bracket. I think they get a rough draw with Arkansas right away. Arkansas is a really good team. They are really long. They can really defend well. In the SEC, which is the best conference in America, they wound up winning 14 or 15 games. They were streaking, but Vermont has Ryan Davis, who's one of the best players in the country. I don't care where you're from. Vermont is top 5 in field goal percentage. They shoot over 60% from the field, and they don't make mistakes. I'm taking Vermont in this weird 4-13 matchup.
Honestly, I'd feel uncomfortable being next to you and not take Vermont because that's all you do is you talk about Vermont all the time. So Vermont it is.
All right. Alabama against, the number 11 seed, Rutgers, Notre Dame, whatever it is. At this point, we don't know. We're recording this before that game goes off. So, look, Notre Dame, I thought, had a nice little run. Rutgers legitimately, statistically, has the worst metrics going into an NCAA tournament of anybody else. I don't really think it matters. I've seen Alabama play their best, and Alabama can win the entire tournament if they're playing their best. Now, they're not playing their best right now, but they should have enough to get by these two.
Just by what you've been talking about with the SEC, I have to go with Alabama on this one.
All right, so we are pretty in step here. Texas Tech, Montana State. Everybody loving Texas Tech. Everybody's loving Texas Tech, okay? I think Montana State's had a good year. I don't love Texas Tech like everyone else, but I got them getting by here.
Yeah, definitely Texas Tech. I liked how they played in their conference championship. It was a great game.
Michigan State, Davidson. Weirdly, if you guys are sports bettors out there, Davidson's actually the favorite, and then it went down to a pick 'em. Look, Tom Izzo, March, and Tom Izzo just makes sense, right? I mean, Michigan State, everybody loves them. I'm taking Davidson. I don't care. I'm taking the 10 here. I think Davidson, I don't think Michigan State's that team this year. I think Davidson can pull the upset.
I'll go Davidson. I enjoy, again,
if it's a real upset, I don't even know.
Yeah, no, let's pick them.
Duke, Cal State Fullerton. Duke crashed and burned during Coach K's last game. Crashed and burned during the ACC title game. Wow. But let me just tell you something about Cal State Fullerton. 300th in the country in assists. 250th plus in defensive metrics. They can't score. They're 250th plus. They can't score 222nd, I think they are, in turnover margin. This is just a terrible team. look, I wanted to pick Duke on the upset. I would have. And there's a couple of 15s out there. I'll tell you what, we're talking about Georgia State. If Georgia State was a 15 and not a 16, I might be taking Georgia State. But because it's Cal Fulton, I'm taking Duke.
Yeah, Duke.
Okay. So we have Duke against Davidson. Davidson's one of those teams they could surprise here. Weirdly, I want to go against Duke. I don't have faith in Duke. I'm putting them through.
When does Duke go down, right? That's what I have to think in my head because they're kind of one of those crash and burn teams every year in the tournament.
Do they get out of the first weekend here?
I'm going crazy. I'm going Davidson.
Davidson, okay. All right, why not? Alabama, Texas Tech. This should be a great matchup if it does come out to this. I think Alabama, like I said, maybe it's me just remembering how good they were earlier. I think Alabama is when they're playing really well, they can beat anybody. I'm taking Bama.
Actually, I'm going against you. I'm taking Texas Tech.
That's what makes the brackets fun, right?
Something about them screams, go ahead and beat Alabama.
All right. Then we got UConn, Vermont.
Matchup.
Listen, this could be a fun matchup. I have New Mexico State, Vermont. So I'm putting Vermont through no matter what. That's all I'm saying. You kind of liking UConn, and a lot of people kind of getting on UConn. Where are you going? This
is a tough one. This really is because again,
I won't get mad if you pull out Vermont. I won't.
Okay. On the spot, this is so tough.
You got to fill out your brackets. Not on the spot. You're sitting there. People sitting in cubicles all day.
UConn.
Okay, UConn moving on. Gonzaga, Memphis. Look, when I told you the 8-9 seeds, right? They split about 50% of the time. The 9 seeds, when they do win, over the last 10 years, win at an 8% clip. Over the last 20 years, they win at about a 5% clip. Doesn't happen. I'm putting Gonzaga through.
Yeah, Gonzaga.
Okay.
Let's not waste more time on that.
Gonzaga, UConn.
Oh, this is a good matchup.
I'm putting the Zags through, and I don't buy into the Zags here. I just think it's almost by default.
They are another Duke team. They always there. They're always in that 1 seed. But when are they going to fall? But I like them here. I'm going to put Gonzaga through.
And then we have Texas Tech and Davidson. You have Texas Tech at Davidson. I here had Duke and Alabama. I'm pushing Bama through again. I think I'm going to be kicking myself, but I'm pushing Bama through.
You're completely different here. And that's what makes these brackets great, right? So here, I'm going Texas Tech.
Texas Tech moving on. Okay. Then I have Gonzaga going to my Final Four. I don't believe in Gonzaga, but weirdly, I just think that they got the best draw. I thought the West was a joke. In a lot of ways, I have Gonzaga going to the Final Four.
I'm going to make my pick in 1 second, but just having Duke and Gonzaga in this bracket.
Now, Duke didn't deserve a 2 seed. They just didn't. They didn't deserve a 2 seed.
I don't know what
Duke's
happened.
a 2 seed. Virginia Tech, which we'll get to in a little while, is an 11 seed, and they won the ACC championship.
But that's Duke.
It's Duke.
If you didn't watch our previous video, you'll probably see why that they're 2. But in this case, I'm going Gonzaga.
All right.
I almost have to at this point.
Gonzaga, it is me and you. So we took a different path to get there, but we both got to Gonzaga. All right, now let's go to the South. I think that this is a spot where I could have 4 teams going to the Final Four. I already looked at it. I know you haven't looked at it. All right, number 1, Arizona against either Wright State or Bryant. Don't know if it really matters. Bryant impressed me this year, but come on, it's one of the 16.
It's Arizona.
It's not going to happen again. Guys, don't go picking 16s for another UMBC. Seton Hall, TCU. I went back and forth about this. I went with Seton Hall just because I think I kind of want to root for them a little bit more. So I went Seton Hall.
Honestly, these 8-9 matchups are so hard for me every year. When Florida State was in the bracket, they were always fit in that one spot a lot. So, Seton Hall. I'll go Seton Hall.
Okay. Houston, UAB. I like UAB. I know that everyone loves Houston. They were a top 10 team for most of the year, top 15 team. Ending off the year, everyone's like, oh, you know what? They're upset. They got a 5 seed. Look, their best win on the year is against Memphis. They didn't be the big wins that they had over the course of the year. Virginia's, they're NIT teams, right? So Houston's schedule. I like UAB. I think they could score. I'm taking the 12 again.
This is so hard because that 5-12 spot.
That's crazy. 5-12. I'm taking them.
You're taking them?
I'm taking UAB.
I don't want you to influence me, but you might. I'll go Houston.
All right.
I like it.
Going chalk, little Houston. Illinois, Chattanooga. Our son did a bracket today. Okay. He's 8, and he had no influence. First of all, he had some pretty good.
Yeah, I heard him.
He had Duke, UNC, and Kansas going, and then Chattanooga going, and he had Chattanooga winning it all. And afterwards, I said, "Tommy, what are you doing?" And, he wasn't going by logos or anything. He said, "Well, I like all the other teams. I think they're going to play well." but I love the name Chattanooga. So you're either going against your son or where you were born in Illinois. Where are you going? I went Illinois here.
Yeah, for my grandfather too, I'm going Illinois.
Okay. Colorado State, Michigan. Colorado State, look, I don't know why they're a 6 seed at all. Michigan shouldn't even belong here. A lot of people will say, they did have a number 3 strength of schedule, so let's give it that. But neither one of these teams, to me, belong at the 6 and 11. They wind up going up against each other. I think everyone's going to be on Michigan. I went Colorado State.
Yeah, I'll go Colorado State.
Okay.
I like it.
Tennessee, Longwood. Look, I thought Longwood was going to be a pretty good team, actually. I thought that they could upset somebody here. Tennessee right now is playing the best basketball in the country from the best conference in the country. They just had the best title game in the country, and now they have a chip on the shoulder because Tennessee is furious that they got a 3 seed, which they didn't deserve a 3 seed. Right. You could have argued they should have gotten a 1 seed. So now they have a chip on their shoulder playing this well. I think Tennessee blows them.
Oh, yeah. I love Tennessee. One of my favorites.
Ohio State, Loyola Chicago. Here's another one where the 10 seed is actually favored in the sports books. It's only by a point, but the 10 seed is actually supposed to win both the Davidson and the Loyola Chicago matchups. I'm going with it. Loyola Chicago. Why not?
I love it. Let's do it.
All right. And then Villanova against Delaware. Look, Delaware's a nice little story. Can't go against Jay Wright.
Villanova.
Okay. Villanova, Loyola Chicago. I'm doing it again. Jay Wright again.
Oh, see, this is where you're like thinking, where is that upset going to come? Where is that team? And, we've actually been watching Villanova a lot this year, so I have to stick with Villanova.
All right. Yeah. Colorado State, Tennessee. Tennessee in a whitewash, whether they match up against Michigan or Colorado State, for me, doesn't really matter. You have them up against Colorado State.
Oh, Tennessee.
Tennessee, okay. Yeah. Houston, Illinois. Look, I think Illinois has a lot of problems. They miss Io. They can't always just go down, to Kofi Coburn, but they can in this game. I'm going Illinois.
Illinois.
Illinois again. She's got them up against Houston. I got them up against UAB. Doesn't really matter. Arizona, Seton Hall. It's been a nice run, Seton Hall. Arizona, you're moving on.
Moving on.
All right, here we go. Now we get down to what I think is the best 1, 2, 3, 4, and we actually have it 1, 2, 3, and 4. Illinois up against Arizona. Look, I think Illinois is a team I want to root for. I'm going to be cheering for, but I got to be honest with you. They need something else. And I think under the boards, they're going to have a problem just going to Kofi Coburn against Arizona's bigs. I'm going Arizona.
Weren't they struggling in their conference championship as well?
Yeah, Illinois didn't look good at the end. Not that the end mattered, because Saturday and Sunday apparently didn't matter.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm going Illinois.
All right, might as well. With your heart, that's okay. You got to fill it out. Tennessee, Villanova. This sucks for me. I'm being straight out.
Yeah.
It stinks because I wanted these two teams to both be in the Final Four, and they can't both even get into the Elite Eight. I think it's a terrible draw. I'm going with Tennessee just because they're red hot. But man, it hurts me to knock Villanova out here.
I'm heavily going Tennessee with this
one. Oh, okay. Then you got Tennessee, Illinois for you. I got Tennessee against Arizona for me, and I put Tennessee going. Look, I picked them before the year. I like them. I think that again they are the best team, playing the best basketball from the best conference right now. Give me Tennessee.
As far as exposure and what I've seen in any of these teams in this, I've watched Tennessee the most, and I've loved them, and I'm going Tennessee.
All right, so Tennessee. So we got Gonzaga and Tennessee as we move to the bottom of the bracket. Guys, again, please go check out TomBartonSports.com. And if you do like this video, subscribe. Now let's go to the Eastern region, right? And all right, here we go. Guys, by the way,
interesting region we
got it's funny because I'm
looking at this right now for the first time, and I'm like, whoa.
I called the Gonzaga region the cakewalk. I called the West the cakewalk. I called the South the battle where you could have 4 Final Fours.
Yeah.
I think the Midwest is a one team. We'll get to that in a minute. Yeah. One team and done. And I called the East chaos because I think this could be
these teams
total chaos.
I know of them obviously, but wow,
yeah.
This is quite a.
All right, let's get into it. Baylor, Norfolk State. Do you like that much chaos? No,
it's Baylor.
Okay. Here's where it gets interesting. UNC Marquette, at a time this year, you could have argued UNC was a top 10 team. You could have argued Marquette was a top 10 team. Both of them finished outside the top 25. Both of them come from tough conferences.
Yeah. I have to say this matchup for both of them is that was a tough draw.
Yeah.
This is a tough draw for
and they're an
both of them.
8-9, which is a little unusual for both of them.
Yeah, I guess in this just because UNC did beat Duke, and I think they're kind of a little bit on fire here compared to Marquette. I'm going to go UNC.
Yeah, I went UNC as well. I like what Marquette can do, but I just haven't seen it enough. St. Mary's against whether Wyoming or Indiana, whoever that's going to be. And I'll tell you, I could see Indiana catching fire. But I like St. Mary's. St. Mary's is a little underrated. I think if we didn't live in a world where Gonzaga existed, we'd be all over St. Mary's.
You know, honestly, if I knew who was going to be in that 12th seed, I looked at them a little bit more. But because of that reason, I'm going St. Mary's.
Okay. St. Mary's it is. We'll move them on. UCLA, Arizona, or Akron. Look, UCLA is playing fantastic basketball right now.
Yeah.
And they really are. I have been
Fun
down
to
on
watch.
UCLA. Before the year, I said it wasn't going to be their year. They got a 4th seed. It doesn't seem like their year. This is a really good draw for them.
UCLA,
Yeah, it's UCLA. Texas, Virginia Tech. I said, look, I think Virginia Tech got screwed. I really do. And I think Texas is completely overshot. I like Virginia Tech here.
Well, is Virginia Tech for real after beating Duke in the ACC championship? I'm not sure.
I don't know if they have to be. They could score 45 points and beat Texas. Texas's offense is terrible. The defense is great.
So how did they get up to be a 6?
Well, yeah, that's.
I mean, that's the question.
And you're asking committee questions.
Yeah, well.
If you flip these and Texas was 11 and Virginia Tech was a 6, I'd go, all right, I'm kind of okay with that.
I'm going to be honest. I know you said that about Texas, but I feel like Virginia Tech would just hit a hot spot, so I'm going Texas.
What is the thing that everyone's doing like this? You go, Longhorns down. That's what they get all mad at. Because his Longhorns up. But his Longhorns up like this.
Oh, there's
right?
too many hand signals.
There's too many. All I remember is Jimmy Superfly Snooker. Right? I love you.
In this.
Yeah, I love you.
If you're like.
Don't even do that. All right, Purdue, Yale. Look, you know me in the Ivy Leagues. You guys go check out my Ivy League podcast, please. Believe in the Ivy League. I broke this game down to a science. This is going to be some points here. Yale's going to be able to play. Swain is their best player. He's fantastic. Best player in the Ivy Leagues. One of the best players in the country. He's going to get his 20-plus points. Won't matter. Purdue might get 90. Purdue has looked weak lately, but not against Yale. They're going to be able to decimate them under the basket.
Yeah, Yale might be the smartest off the court, but Purdue will beat them on the court.
Yale's a safety school for people from Harvard.
Hey.
All right, Murray State, San Francisco. Look, Murray State 30-2. Okay, one of their losses was at Auburn. The other loss came in the 4th game of the season on the road. No one's giving any credit to Murray State. 30-2, guys. I don't care who you are. Look, San Francisco had a nice little year. I'm Murray State, man.
Honestly, can I be completely honest? I'm rolling the dice.
He's going San Fran, the Dons. All right, okay.
No, I'm sorry.
What?
Murray State. Meaning
rolling the dice. I just made a whole case for Murray State.
Meaning, I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm randomly picked.
Kentucky, St. Peter's. Kentucky.
Yeah, let's just move on.
Yeah. Okay. So we stayed down here. Murray State, Kentucky, in-state rivals, you could say, even though they're not really in-state rivals. I'm taking Murray State, baby. I love it.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm going Kentucky.
Okay. Texas, Purdue. You got Texas, Purdue. I have Virginia Tech, Purdue. Doesn't really matter. I have Purdue moving on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They're on fire.
St. Mary's, UCLA. I think St. Mary's is a good team. I put UCLA through. I have the same matchup.
I'm sorry. When I think of this matchup, I think here comes big bad UCLA
Yeah.
against like little St. Mary's. In this case, that's what's going to happen.
Okay.
UCLA is moving on.
And here's one of the interesting ones. Me and you were back and forth about UNC Marquette. I think both of them can knock off Baylor. Baylor's the weakest #1 team. I think both of them can knock off Baylor. Do you see it happening here?
Poor Baylor. They just never get enough credit every year. No, I'm going Baylor.
Okay, you're going Baylor. I'd
Yeah.
put UNC through there. Baylor, UCLA. Now, I had UCLA moving on in my bracket, but they were playing UNC. So you have Baylor, UCLA.
These rankings really this year specifically don't mean that much to me because there's some really strange rankings here after seeing these. So I'm taking the rankings out and I'm going UCLA.
All right. I like it too. Wow. Okay. We did not talk about this. This is the first time she's seen this. Purdue, Kentucky. I already had Kentucky out, so my bracket is Murray State, Purdue. So Purdue's moving on for me. Kentucky, Purdue.
Since they decimated Florida State at the beginning of the season, I have to keep going with Purdue just for that reason. And they're just
do not fill out your brackets according to emotion. Abby's going all emotion.
All emotion.
Okay, UCLA, Purdue. I wanted Purdue to go on.
Matchup.
I like Purdue to go on. I like everything Purdue's doing. It's hard to go against what UCLA's playing right now. They're just playing really well.
See, this is the time where like, okay, if we weren't recording this, I'd step away and just like come
do some
back
research.
to it.
Yeah.
But
I have a feeling that after the show,
On the
a lot of
spot.
these are going to get altered, by the way.
No, I'm not changing any of these.
We'll
This is
find
it.
out. I'll give you guys an update next time.
This one is UCLA.
Okay. All right. I had Purdue going. I couldn't get away from it. Okay. Before we go to the Midwest and then we get into the Final Four, wearing a Shamrock shirt. We're going to be recording this, and you guys probably going to be watching on St. Patrick's Day. I'm going to be in Atlantic City for this weekend for St. Patrick's Day, so I'll do a couple of live videos as well, and then we'll get back into things regularly next week. But I wanted to make sure that everybody knows that. Okay. Over to the Midwest bracket, Kansas against...
This is like the snooze fest bracket?
Yeah, Texas Southern or the Islanders.
I'm looking at this now for the first time. And
like I said, to me, this is a one-team bracket,
whoa.
basically. So you got Kansas, right? Okay.
Yeah.
San Diego State, Creighton. I think San Diego State shouldn't be an 8. If Colorado State's a 6, that's ridiculous. But, I mean, does it really matter?
You know, every time I want to say the word Creighton, I went, those Cretans. I don't know why. But I'm not. I feel like I'm Lee Corso here. Like I'm making a silly comments and then going with the other team. But I am. I'm gonna go San Diego.
San Diego State it is. Iowa Richmond. Iowa is a team right now that scored 100 points. 2 games ago. They're putting up 80 points a day. They just won the Big Ten. They have like the 6th best odds to win it all. They have the most tickets coming in on Iowa to win it all, and they're a 5 seed. 5-12. Me and you watched that Richmond game this Sunday.
Yeah.
Richmond they don't belong here. They don't belong here. They didn't deserve to even win that game. Look, I know everybody in the world is on Iowa. How do you bet against them right now?
You don't.
No,
Iowa's the
can't
pick.
do it. Iowa it is. Providence, South Dakota State. I love South Dakota State, and I hate Providence. It has nothing to do with it. I just think that Providence was the one team before the brackets. Before the brackets came out, I said, I'm going against Providence. And before the brackets came out, I said, who's my next Oral Roberts? Remember, I told everybody, I had Oral Roberts going the first 2 rounds. I know, I really did that. And I think they're the same team. South Dakota State is the best 3-point shooting team in the country. They are a top 5 2-point shooting team in the country. Now, they do turn the ball over a lot, 11 turnovers a game, which is a problem. And they could probably get beat down low by Providence. I'm going South Dakota State.
Isn't this the spot that you thought Vermont was going to be in?
This is where I thought Vermont was.
Yes, I remember this.
I think I might have taken out a loan on the house if Vermont was taking on Providence. I'm just being honest.
All right. I'll go Providence.
Okay. LSU, Iowa State. LSU fires their coach before the tournament, so that's a lot of weirdness going on there. There's going to be an investigation. There's going to be all kinds of nonsense. It's going to be weird, but here's what I think. Everybody's looking at it like that. Just my opinion. I think the kids are like, you know what? Who cares? We're going to do it in spite of what happened. I think it gives them a little motivation, at least just to get by Iowa State.
Wow, this one's tough. I really have no dog in this fight at all, and I really have not followed a lot of these teams. I have to do LSU. Just that I feel like
they shouldn't say because of the purple uniforms. So
that's sparkly.
Wisconsin, Colgate. Colgate's another team. I circled. I said I like them. I'm taking them. Here's the problem. This is being played in the Midwest. Wisconsin, a 3 seed, actually basically is playing in their backyard. They're playing in Wisconsin. Okay, so I can't do anything. Yeah. But I think Wisconsin's very vulnerable. They might go down, and if they were in any other place except literally their backyard, I'd be taking Colgate, but I'll go with Wisconsin.
Colgate. I always think I'm going to brush your teeth. Wisconsin.
Okay. USC, Miami. I shouldn't have to ask you. You've mentioned Florida State 15 times here. I think that either one of these teams are both overshot. Miami's really small, but they are quick. LSU is plotting and big. I put USC through, but it could have gone.
Yeah, and one of these teams is traveling pretty far, right?
Yeah, you said it.
Country.
Well, they go to the Midwest region, so it's not so terrible.
Well, yes, but USC, that's the one I think that's going.
Okay, so who do you like, Miami, USC?
I'm sorry, Florida State fans. I have to take Miami.
Ooh, okay. Florida State fans, remember that I didn't. Auburn, Jacksonville State. Our son picked the Jacksonville State upset in round 1 because he's a Jacksonville Jaguars fan, so he didn't really know the difference. Auburn, I think rolls, right? I mean, okay. Now, Auburn, Miami, I got Auburn easily going in.
Okay. I'm not getting you're not.
And I had Auburn, USC, and they're going easily. LSU, Wisconsin.
Oh, boy.
I'm taking Wisconsin again. A lot of home court advantage kind of situation.
That's still turmoil. Let's go with Wisconsin.
It'll be for the full weekend. Iowa, Providence. I have Iowa, South Dakota State. Everyone loves Iowa. I have South Dakota State pulling an upset again.
Oh, wow. Yeah, very impressive. Yeah. I'm going Iowa.
Okay. And then Kansas, San Diego State. Kansas with ease. Yeah. Okay. Kansas, Iowa for you. Kansas, South Dakota State for me. I got Kansas
Kansas
dominated.
is gonna pretty much, manhandle Iowa.
Okay. Wisconsin, Auburn. I have Auburn by default because I just don't think Wisconsin's very good.
Like I think we were talking about this being just a easy conference bracket point of our tape, but it's Auburn.
Okay.
I mean, there's no surprises here, I don't think.
And to me, I called it a one-team conference because I think Kansas blows by everybody.
Yeah, this is Kansas's day.
All right, so Abby's Final Four is Gonzaga, UCLA, Tennessee, and Kansas, which is nearly identical to mine. I just have Purdue outside, and again, we didn't talk about this. So Gonzaga against UCLA for you. I have Gonzaga against Purdue for myself. And look, I want to say that Purdue gets there. I see that they have a lot of problems. I'm going with Gonzaga very, very begrudgingly.
Just because I like craziness and I like teams that have heart and they're up on the end. I'm going UCLA over Gonzaga.
And then Kansas, Tennessee, which I think could be the final. To me, Kansas, Tennessee, Villanova are maybe the three best teams but they can't both go to the final.
Yeah.
I took Tennessee, even though, man, Kansas absolutely couldn't go and win this thing.
It's like the Kansas City Chiefs Bills. You'll never see it in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But here, wow, this one's tough. Sorry, I'm just looking at this right now.
Take your time. It's okay. Nobody has anywhere to go.
No, I know. You don't want to hear my everyone's on pins and needles.
Now, this is when you
right?
go say something. While she's thinking, please click the like button, right?
Like, do you agree with me?
Yeah,
Is
there
my
you go.
Final Four? I don't know. I'm gonna go with Kansas.
All right, Kansas it is. And then Kansas, UCLA. Now, I had Tennessee, Gonzaga. I have Tennessee winning it all. For me, it's very simple. I said it before. I'll repeat it again. Best team, playing the best basketball in the best conference. It's just a formula for me.
Formula, huh? That's easy. I have to go because, again, I've been riding them this whole time. I'm going UCLA.
Wow. Okay. UCLA. Now, we got to put a point total in there. Both of them can play some offense.
You're like, this is not my final two. Like, how can I pick these points?
Well, that's okay. What is your points? What are you thinking?
Over under, what do you think it is off your top of your head?
141. That's what I'm saying.
I'm going about 147.
Okay. A little high scoring.
Yeah.
Sorry, reaching over through the computer. Okay, watch this. Now, she has not seen my picks. I'm going to submit the picks, okay? We did my one bracket. I fill out two brackets every year.
Ooh, so official. Your picks have been submitted.
Yep. Here are my two brackets. I had Kansas winning. And I had UCLA in the Final Four. I had Kansas against UCLA in my second bracket with Kansas winning, and we didn't talk about this. So, that's it. That's it for us, guys.
That the top dogs still stay the top dogs.
Kansas looks like it's the easiest bracket according to what we again. I filled out two brackets. Abby filled out one.
Now, before we say goodbye, because I know we're coming to the end, which team do you think is going to have the most presence in the Final Four brackets?
I think everyone's going to pick Gonzaga because they're always there. Everyone knows
That's the
them.
trap, right?
Everyone's going to pick Kansas because it's but you know what? Maybe not, because you do have Auburn there and a lot of people and Iowa. I don't buy into Iowa to win the whole thing. A Big Ten champion hasn't come out since 2000, by the way.
Yeah.
There's been 10 ACC championships since the last time the Big Ten won a championship. Not to take stabs at the Big Ten or anything. I'm just telling you that maybe we won't see as many Kansas as you think. I think Gonzaga is it. I don't think people buy into Duke. While Texas is a nice story, I think Gonzaga is the team that now everybody knows. The Tennessee, Villanova, Arizona bracket is a mess. I mean, we know that any one of those teams can win.
That's gonna be great.
The chaos bracket of UCLA and Baylor. That's going to be it. So I think it's going to be Gonzaga by default, but it wouldn't shock me if a lot of people.
Well, I always say, what's my strategy? Try to find that one team that's no one else is on, and then you can ride them to the end. Because if they do so happen to win the whole thing, you'll win your.
We don't have any of those. We have a lot of favorites up there. You have a 4 seed, which is crazy. But guess what? The entire West Coast that's watching us later on tonight, they're all going, she went chalk. UCLA's chalk for them, out there. Yeah.
Well, Florida State was in this bracket this year. I would do my Florida State bracket, but
you would do a Florida State bracket where you go, I'm going Florida State, and you bring them to the Sweet 16, and then they're gone. It's the same thing.
One of these days, watch our previous video, Leonard Hamilton is going to maybe take him there.
Yeah, well, for me, I think I do have a little bit of bias as well, and I should tell everybody. Look, I picked out Tennessee against Purdue as my final before the year began. You guys can watch. Please go back. You can watch some of my previews, and I do have the previews videos of all the college basketball season. I thought Tennessee against Purdue were both going to be in the Final Four, and I think Purdue can still get there, but I've seen some cracks in the armor where I feel better about Tennessee. I picked Tennessee to win it all before the year began, and I feel better about them today than I did then, but there might be a little bit of bias there. Kansas is the team that might kind of throw this thing off, but I'm okay with that.
The safe pick.
Who's a team that you just don't like and you have no rationale behind? Like, I mean, you're like, I hate them, not because of Florida State thing, just a team you just don't like.
Can I say it? And I'm going to get totally reamed on this
one.
Yes,
do it.
Notre Dame.
How do you say Notre Dame on St. Patrick's? Or the day before St. Patrick's?
I know. I'm
wearing a Shamrock shirt. I mean, come on.
You know, they're one of the team in Miami's the same thing. And I'm not saying that because I am a Florida State alumni, but they're the one team that their fans, about 85% of their fans just don't go to school.
We just got a lot of dislike. Don't. This is
you asked
This
me.
is Tom Barton Sports, and we don't know her. It's okay. Well, for me, it's Arizona for me. I have no idea why. No clue. I have nothing personal against them. I just bet. I go against them. I know. I go against them in the brackets every single year with no rationale. They're a number one team. They look great. No rationale behind it. I just go against them every single year. You know, I can say like I don't like Duke. Or I don't like this team, I don't like that team. But I pick them because I respect what they do. And it's not that I don't respect Arizona. I just find myself going, why did I bet anti-Arizona again? Why did I not push them through? They're that team.
I mean, really, I didn't want to point to this team because I feel everyone does is Duke. They're just, I can't.
But you kind of feel for them this year. You know?
Not at all.
See Coach K go out. What about a team that you like too much?
Too much?
Probably Illinois.
Yeah,
a little bit of favoritism.
A little favoritism there. You know, for those who don't know, my family's from Illinois. My dad went to University of Illinois. I was born at University of Illinois. I love them. I love any Cinderella story, really.
Yeah.
I'm a Cinderella
I like
girl.
the mid-major mid-major teams, but I have a special place in my heart for Villanova, who
really
2 years in a row, I bet
And
them
Vermont?
preseason. Well, that's a mid-major, yeah. But 2 years in a row, I bet them, or the two championships they have, I bet them in the preseason at pretty good odds. So when you win with a team, you kind of fall in love with them, you know. And Jay Wright's, he coached out here in New York at Hofstra. So, I feel like maybe I have a little bias towards Tennessee this year, maybe because I picked them before the year. Maybe I have a little bias towards Villanova.
You know who I'm missing that I really wish was in this tournament is Virginia. I really enjoy that.
Yeah, I like Virginia, but a lot of people don't like their style, that slow down stuff. I'll tell you what, with our last video that we did, we talked about the ACC failing and dying, and Virginia not even making the tournament this year. We're saying that Virginia was the one team that could kind of save it.
Which is weird why
Miami's
Miami's there and Virginia Tech.
Duke's a 2 seed. Virginia Tech is an 11 seed. Virginia Tech won the ACC.
Three teams, right? ACC has 3 teams?
Yeah. Well, and maybe Notre Dame. We don't know. They're the play-in game.
Sorry.
And UNC.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
North
you.
Carolina.
Yes, I did forget them.
Yeah.
But, okay, we do have a good presence.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us. Hey, tell us what you guys think. Tell us about your Final Four. Do you have a team that you really like? Do you have a team that you're just betting against all the time? What about the mid-majors? Yeah, obviously, I'm a Vermont guy. I like Vermont, right? I like Murray State. I like South Dakota State this year. So I like a couple of those mid-majors as well. Even UAB, it's a mid-major. I think that can do some damage. Who are your mid-majors? Who are your teams that you want to go and see go on? Please comment below. Also, you can always write me over at Twitter. It's Tom Barton Sports over on Twitter. Check me out, TomBartonSports.com. TomBartonSports over at gmail.com if you want to send an email as well. Again, please watch out for my videos in the next 48 hours or so. I'm going to be in Atlantic City. I'm going to do some live videos there. I'll give you kind of a scope of the boardwalk there. And I always try to call it the Strip because I'm a Vegas guy. But I'll go down the boardwalk there. I'll show you kind of the casino, the vibe that is Atlantic City during the NCAA tournament is absolutely fantastic. So check it all out. All right, that's it, Abby. You're locked in. We'll see.
I'm not changing it.
We'll see if she changes some of these. I expect at least 5 changes by the time I upload this video. All right, guys. Have a very good day, everybody.